She was lying in an ambulance, seizure after seizure ripping through her body. And her husband of 5 years was standing in the driveway, complaining about laundry. Stay with me, because this story gets worse before it gets better. Y'all, welcome back to Messy Truth Stories, the place where real women's stories finally get told the way they deserve to be told. Honey, I need you to pour yourself something before we get into today's story. Because this one hit different. This one made me put my phone down and just sit in silence for a minute. Today's story comes from a 29-year-old woman named Sarah, married for almost 5 years to a man named Daniel. And what happened to her last Sunday night is something no woman should ever have to go through alone. Let's get into it. Sarah and Daniel got married young and full of hope, like most couples do. Full of dreams, full of promises, full of that feeling that this person right here, so this is my person. This is the one who will always show up for me. But lately, something had been shifting, and Sarah felt it in her bones, even if she could not quite put it into words yet. Daniel had been pulling away. Slowly, quietly, the way some people do when they stop choosing you without ever saying it out loud. He was spending more and more time on video games, hours on Discord with his friends. And Sarah, sweet, patient, devoted Sarah, was starting to feel less like a wife and more like a roommate. You'll know that feeling when you are sitting in the same room as someone and still feel completely alone. When you reach for them and they are just not there anymore. Not really. But Sarah kept showing up. She kept choosing him every single day because that is what she promised, and Sarah takes her promises seriously. Now, honey, I need you to understand something before we go any further. Because this story is not just about a disconnected husband. This story is about a woman who has been carrying an invisible weight for 4 years. Sarah has epilepsy. She has PCOS. And for 4 long years, she and Daniel have been trying to have a baby. 4 years. In those 4 years, Sarah has had 2 miscarriages. 2 babies she dreamed about, prayed for, and lost. 2 moments of heartbreak that no woman should ever have to survive, let alone survive quietly while still making dinner and doing laundry and showing up for her marriage every single day. And just the week before all of this happened, Sarah was a week late. She took a pregnancy test, and the night before that test, she had dreamed it was positive. She woke up with that hope sitting in her chest, like a fragile little bird. The test came back negative. She told Daniel, and you know what he said? "It is okay. We will try again." That was it. No hug, no tears, no sitting with her in that pain. Just, "It is okay. We will try again." And back to whatever he was doing. Sis, when the woman you love has just lost another dream, you put down the controller. You hold her. You stay. Daniel did not stay. And Sarah tucked that hurt down deep the way strong women do and kept going. Sunday came. Family dinner at her parents' house. Normal, comfortable. The kind of evening that is supposed to feel safe. And then Sarah felt it. Those of you who know someone with epilepsy know what I am talking about. The aura, that warning that comes just before the seizure hits. Like her body sending up a flare. And then it happened. Not 1 seizure, not 2, 3 seizures. Back to back to back. The first one lasted 1 minute. The second lasted 4 minutes. And the third, the third one lasted 8 full minutes. 8 minutes of her body fighting itself while her family watched in terror and called 911. She was loaded into an ambulance, still on the driveway of her parents' house. still fighting, still struggling to come back to herself. And where was Daniel? He was standing in that driveway, watching the ambulance doors close around his wife. And do you know what he was talking about? Money! He was complaining to Sarah's mother about the financial cost of the ambulance, and then, and I need you to hear this clearly, he told her mother that he would only be at the hospital for a few minutes because he needed to do laundry and mow the lawn. Laundry and mow the lawn. His wife, seizure after seizure, in an ambulance. And this man is thinking about his grass. Sarah spent over an hour alone in that hospital room before her family was allowed back in. Can you imagine that? Coming out of 3 seizures, confused, exhausted, scared, and lying there alone in a hospital room. Finally, her mum and Daniel came in. Her parents had not left. Not for 1 second. They were there, completely present, the way family is supposed to be. Daniel stayed for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, y'all. And then he said he needed to go home. Sarah was upset, but she told herself, okay, the animals need to be let out. I understand. She gave him grace, because that is what Sarah does. She gives grace even when she is lying in a hospital bed. But then her mother told her what really happened on that driveway. And honey, that grace evaporated. The money complaints, the laundry, the lawn, the casual indifference of a man whose wife was being driven away in an ambulance, and he was already thinking about his to-do list. And then, this detail right here broke my heart. When her mother mentioned the seizures could have been triggered by the stress of the negative pregnancy test. Daniel rolled his eyes. He rolled his eyes at his wife's pain, at her grief, at the loss she had been quietly carrying for 4 years while still showing up for this man every single day. Y'all, I cannot. After Daniel left, Sarah had to do something that no wife should ever have to do. She had to call her husband and beg him to come back to the hospital. Beg him. And even then he asked her. He actually asked her, do I need to come back? Not, I am on my way. Not, of course I am coming back. Not, I never should have left. Do I need to come back? Like her being alone in a hospital room after 3 seizures was a question that required an answer. Like his presence at her bedside was a favor he was considering doing her. She just married someone who doesn't show up. So here is where Sarah stands today. She is home. She is physically recovering. But inside, she is doing something she never thought she would have to do. She is questioning everything. 5 years, 2 miscarriages, 4 years of trying, epilepsy and PCOS, and Sunday dinners and promises made in front of everyone she loves, and a husband who left a hospital room to mow the lawn. Sarah asked, am I wrong for wanting a divorce? Honey, no, you're not wrong. You are a woman who finally opened her eyes, and what you saw was painful. But seeing the truth, even when it hurts, is never wrong. Because here is what I know about Sarah. She is the kind of woman who will survive this, who will grieve this marriage, close this chapter, and rise. Because women like Sarah, the ones who give everything, who stay, who love completely, they do not stay broken. They rise, and they deserve someone who would never, not once, choose the lawn over them. Y'all, I need to hear from you on this one. Was Sarah wrong for wanting a divorce after everything that happened that night? Drop your verdict in the comments. NTA, not the a-hole. Or YTA. Yeah, she is the a-hole. I want every single opinion down there. And if you have ever been in a situation where someone showed you exactly who they were in your worst moment, tell me about it below. This comment section is a safe space. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button because every single week I bring you stories like this one. Real women, real pain, real truth. Because the truth, it is always messy and it is always worth it. See you next week, sis. Stories inspired by real life experiences shared online. All names and details have been changed to protect privacy for entertainment purposes only.